"Get your dirty hands away from my property," Richard screamed, his voice cracking with entitlement. He didn't just insult the mechanic, he looked through him, seeing nothing but a uniform and a skin color he deemed beneath him. Richard thought his $50,000 watch bought him superiority. He thought he held all the power. But in exactly 45 minutes, on a lonely stretch of highway with a smoking engine and a dying phone battery, Richard is about to learn a brutal lesson. You can't buy your way out of karma. And the only man who can save his life is the one he just tried to destroy. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are dissecting a story of instant karma and the shifting dynamics of power. It's a tale that reminds us that status is fragile, and respect is the only currency that matters when the chips are down. We're going to look at the story of Richard Sterling, a tech CEO on the verge of the biggest merger of his life, and Marcus, a man Richard mistook for just help. By the end of this video, you'll see why the person you disrespect today might be the gatekeeper to your future tomorrow. Before we proceed, kindly tell us where you are watching from in the comments. Also hit the subscribe button for more stories. It was 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Richard Sterling pulled his vintage Aston Martin into Old School Auto. It wasn't his usual dealership, but his engine was making a terrifying rattling sound, and he had a merger meeting at 4 p.m. that would net him $20 million. He couldn't risk a breakdown. Marcus walked out wiping grease from his knuckles. He smiled warmly. "Afternoon. That's a beautiful machine. Sounds like a timing chain issue." Richard didn't even hang up his phone. He snapped his fingers at Marcus. "Hey, you. Look at me. I don't have time for small talk. Fix the noise. Don't touch the upholstery. And be quick." Marcus paused. He's been fixing cars since before Richard was born. He recognized the tone. The entitlement. "Sir," Marcus said quietly, "this is a delicate engine. I need to run a diagnostic. It might take an hour to do it right." Richard laughed. A cold, mocking sound. "An hour? I don't pay you to think. I pay you to twist wrenches. Look at this place. Look at you. Clearly, you need the money. Just patch it so I can make my meeting. If you scratch it, I'll buy this garage and bulldoze it." Marcus slowly lowered the hood. He didn't slam it. He just clicked it shut. "I can't help you, sir. You should leave." Richard turned purple. He threw a $100 bill on the oil-stained floor. "Pick it up. That's for wasting my time." He got back in the car, revved the engine aggressively, and peeled out of the lot, leaving Marcus standing there, the bill fluttering in the exhaust fumes. Richard felt triumphant. He had put the help in their place. He was roaring down Route 9, taking the back roads to avoid traffic, confident he'd make the meeting with time to spare. But machinery doesn't care about your bank account. Machinery only respects physics. 3 miles from civilization. No houses. No gas stations. Just dense forest and pouring rain. Richard sat in the silence of his $200,000 paperweight. He checked his phone. Panic set in. It was 3:15 p.m. The meeting was in 45 minutes. If he missed it, the investors would walk. He stepped out of the car, his Italian loafers instantly soaking in the mud. He popped the hood. Smoke billowed into his face. Coughing, he waved it away. He had no idea what he was looking at. To him, it was just hot metal and failure. He tried to flag down a passing car. A minivan drove past. He waved his arms. They didn't stop. Why would they? He looked like a maniac screaming by the woods. 3:30 p.m. Richard was desperate. He was ready to beg. He saw an old truck rumbling down the road. He ran into the middle of a lane, waving both arms. "Stop. Please. I'll pay you." The truck slowed down. The brakes squeaked. The window rolled down manually. The silence was deafening. Richard froze. The man he had humiliated 20 minutes ago was now the only soul on the road. Marcus looked at Richard. "Car trouble?" he asked, his voice devoid of mockery, just calm indifference. Richard stammered. His pride fought with his desperation. "Ah, yes. It died. I have a meeting. A merger. I have to be there. Sounds important, Marcus said. He put the truck in gear as if to drive away. But I'm just a guy who twists wrenches. I probably shouldn't touch a car like that. Might get the upholstery dirty. This is the moment. The power shift. The man in the suit was now the beggar. Wait, Richard shouted. Please. I was wrong. I was an idiot. I need help. I'll pay you double, triple. Marcus looked him dead in the eye. It's not about the money, Richard. You threw money on my floor. It didn't fix your manners. Why should I help a man who thinks I'm beneath him? Richard realized that his net worth meant nothing out here. Because I'm asking you, Richard whispered. Man to man. Please. I need help. Marcus didn't smile. He just nodded. He got out into the rain, popped the trunk of his truck, and grabbed a diagnostic tool. He worked for 10 minutes, soaking wet, while Richard held a flashlight, trembling. Your tensioner snapped, Marcus said, wiping grease onto a rag. I bypassed the sensor so you can limp it to the city. Keep it under 50. Richard was flooded with relief. He pulled out all the cash he had, about $500. Here, take it. Seriously, thank you. Marcus pushed the hand away. Keep your money. Use it to clean your suit. Richard was confused. Why? Why help me after what I said? Marcus leaned in close. Because my father taught me that a man's character is defined by what he does when he has the power to hurt someone who hurt him. You have a meeting to get to. Go. Richard made it. He burst into the boardroom, looking like a shipwreck survivor. The investors were there. The chairman of the board was sitting at the head of the table. Mr. Sterling, the chairman said, frowning. You're late, and you look unwell. Car trouble, Richard panted. But I'm here. I'm ready to close this deal. The chairman shook his head. We were actually waiting on our chief technical consultant to give the final approval on your engineering specs. He just arrived. The door opened. In walked a man in a clean, sharp suit. He wasn't wearing coveralls anymore. It was Marcus. The room went silent. Marcus sat down next to the chairman. He looked at Richard, then at the file in front of him. Mr. Sterling, Marcus said, his voice echoing in the silent room. I've reviewed your company's engineering, and I've reviewed the CEO's character. Marcus closed the file. The engineering is sound, but this company relies on leadership that respects every cog in the machine. I cannot recommend this merger. Richard lost the deal. He lost $20 million, but he gained a life lesson he would never forget. Be careful who you step on while you're climbing the ladder. They might be the same people you have to look up to when you fall. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of justice and life lessons. And ask yourself, who are you overlooking in your life right now? Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.